Hey y'all, it's your Captain for All Things Creative coming at you with the Real Housewives of Dubai, Season 2, Episode 9 review. If you're new to this channel, welcome. Please like and subscribe. And if you're returning, thank you so much for rocking with us. We get into a lot of things. And before we get into the episode, everybody try to register to vote unless you're registered already. And then when it's election time, please go out and vote. All right, so this episode starts where we left off last time, where the ladies are at the table talking about this voice note scandal. Now, they're going back and forth, arguing, well, not really arguing, but splitting hairs about what and what was said, because Talene was saying, like, oh, the recording says that she don't like Brooks. But Lisa was like, that's not what I said. So Lisa just tells Ayan to play it. So then Sarah listens to herself talking, and then she remembers what she meant when she sent it. And in reality, she and Lisa had been talking about Talene. So the message wasn't even about Brooks. Even though, if you remember from 2 weeks ago when the episode played, Stanberry brought up the voicemail to cause a rift between Brooks and Sarah by acting like Sarah was running down on Brooks in the voice note, but that's not what it was at all. She was talking about Talene. So really, Ayan and Stanberry were wrong and messy for sharing the voice note and trying to throw it in Sarah's face and cause division between her and Brooks, since they were all up in the Kool-Aid and did not know the flavor. But I still think that Lisa is messy too, since she didn't need no clarification, especially from Ayan to me, because Ayan is not known for understanding lots of English words well. She's always asking about what words mean in the confessionals, And then when Sarah played back her version of the full back and forth voice notes, it was clear that they were both talking about Talene, because Lisa was like, yeah, Talene tried to call me. I ain't answer. She doing this, she doing that. And that's when Sarah said, yeah, she did this and this, that. So the point of the whole voice note exchange was talking about Talene. So there's no reason why, Lisa should have played it for Ayan. And then the fact that group, Ayan and Stanberry, brought it up to weaponize it against Brooks and Sarah's relationship, it was all a bit much. They all wrong, right? So then Lisa proceeds to call out both Ayan and Stanberry, but keeps most of the heat on Stanberry at the table by saying that she's a snake, and no matter how much a snake changes its skin, they still a snake or something like that. And then Ayan also gives Stanberry heat by giving her a middle finger and whatnot. But then she leaves the table upset and saying that she's actually mad at both Stanberry and Lisa. And even though she's mad at Stanberry, she's more mad at Lisa because Lisa's supposed to be her friend. And Lisa kind of devalued her and made her look like untrustworthy and all that in front of everybody, So then after Ayan, walks away, Lisa tries to follow Ayan to go get her to go out with them to like go dancing, whatever, or club hopping. And then apparently when Lisa tried to talk to her, Ayan cussed her out and called her all kind of B words, which the camera did not catch. I don't know why they didn't catch it. Before Ayan also allegedly threw Lisa out of her room. So then we see Lisa in the hallway crying and calling her husband. But her husband doesn't pick up, so she calls Ayan's husband and tells him some of the story. And that shows me just how close them two were, because I don't really let people call my husband like that. I mean, it's a free country, but I let people know, you better respect my marriage. But, they're close enough that Lisa felt comfortable calling Chris, I believe is his name. But then Rich, her husband, calls her back in the middle of when she's talking to Ayan's husband, so she clicks off and tells Rich the whole story about her phone and Ayan over the voice note. And she was using big B words about Ayan as well, saying, that B did this and that. So Rich is surprised. And he explains, at first he didn't hear her call, and, the kids are with his mom. So after he calms her down about that, he basically tells her, that it's probably good for her to go out instead of just being upset by herself in her room. And he says he also thinks that her and Ayan will be friends again once, the dust settles. So we also see Ayan talk to her husband, I think, and tell him how Lisa made her feel low and no one talks to her like that. And she admits that she did chase Lisa. And Lisa goes to Brooks and said how Ayan disrespected her. And then you get this cringy confessional of Brooks just relishing in the drama. She's cheering for the downfall of, Lisa and Ayan's friendship, which is kind of on brand for her villain era, but it's not cute because I think that Ayan and Lisa falling out is sad. So just cheering for negativity like that is very weird to me. So then the girls nonetheless go out and have fun, and they find a Timu Fabio and have a good time with him, but the liquor is apparently bad and cheap. Plus, Stanberry still finds time to throw shade at Lisa. There's a point where Lisa's just like having fun dancing in the cage, and Brooks also dances in the cage too. But Stanberry shades Lisa by saying, isn't that how she met her husband? So it's still up and stuck for these two ladies, regardless of how much fun they having, right? So the next day, this is still the fallout from, the dinner the night before. And Lisa just ends up break down crying when she sees Ayan, and they talk and they seem to make up. But Ayan explains that she only had one other really close friend in her life before Lisa, and that girl had passed away from AIDS complications, so she's not used to navigating friendships so well. And then the girls end up traveling to where Sarah wants them to go to release trauma. And the car with Lisa, Ayan, and Brooks is fun, but the car with Stanberry and Talib and Sarah and Saba is negative because Stanberry's hungover, she's vomiting, and she also calls Sergio and says that she misses him and says, that she will call him back later, and Sergio's saying that he wishes he was there. And for some reason that call pissed Sarah and Saba off more, since they're like, Stanberry can mess up all that love and heart for her husband, but she's miserable and unfeeling around them. So Sarah and Saba especially are sick of Stanberry's negativity. And then when they get to the spiritual activity that Sarah got planned, they change into these red robes, and there's a beautiful Hindu temple by a waterfall. And their first task is to feed some spiritual beings, I guess, by leaving food at some kind of like altars, I guess. I don't know too much about it, so forgive me if I'm like misspeaking. But Lisa taps out of that activity because she doesn't want to veer too far from her Christianity. But some of the girls side-eyed her for not being too concerned about Christianity the night before when she was busting it open in the cage at the club. But I think there's a huge difference between hanging out and fellowshipping with friends by dancing together versus outright, being in a whole temple doing sacred tasks and services. So Christians definitely dance too, and dancing is a norm in the club. But it's not every day that people go out to temples and does what that Hindu man was asking them to do with that food offering. So whoever was hating on Lisa needs to mind their business, because she has her own spiritual boundaries that's between her and God. And if dancing is truly a spiritual boundary for, that person, I think it was Talene that was hating on Lisa, then don't project that onto other people, because that's just judgment and negativity that the viewers clearly don't care to see because the ratings are not giving. So then, after they do that little activity with the food offerings, everybody took pictures in the red rose before they took a dip in the waterfall and was just yelling and splashing their pain away. And Talina and Stanberry apparently stayed miserable, but everybody else seemed to have gotten rejuvenated. So everybody except Talina and Stanberry thanked Sarah for a nice day. And then they head back to where Lisa has traditional dresses waiting for them from an Indonesian designer for a dress-up fancy dinner. And it actually reminded me of the Thailand girls trip, but those girls all appreciated dressing up, mostly because, they had them Salt Lake City girls who love to dress up always. But Talene was complaining again about why Lisa was in charge of wardrobe. And for the first time, Talene got on my nerves more than Saba, because she claims she had the worst color, and Stanberry complains about the dresses. But then Brooks ends the episode yelling the most, talking about she don't wear yellow And it was a mess. So say how you feel about the episode. And remember, you're the master of your fate and the captain of your soul. Bye.